So in today's video, we're going to do a response to a Quint video, which was in response to an OpIndia video, which was in response to a Quint video. Inception. Let's start the show! Hello, and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Sharma show. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Okay, so today I'm going to be responding to, like I said before, a Quint video. Now, what happened was the Quint came out with a video which was based around an NGT report, which is the National Green Tribunal report, which said that the Art of Living Foundation's World Cultural Festival that was held in Delhi in 2016 over 3 days that had completely destroyed the floodplains of that area and that had caused irreversible damage and completely destroyed the vegetation of the area. It also mentioned a couple of farmers who said that their land had been destroyed and who said that they were not able to farm there anymore and they were not given any proceeds or anything like that. And then OpIndia came out with another video in response to that, and they actually went and talked to the farmers on the ground, and the farmers actually said that, well, that's not what we were actually saying, is that our entire conversations were not used and our conversations were edited a little bit. Now you can check out both of those videos in the description below. The links to them are provided down there. You can check them out, make your own mind up. But then Quint responded to the OpIndia video, and they were saying in that video that we didn't tell anything to the farmers, we didn't edit anything out, and we're going to release the raw footage of the conversations with the farmers as well. But on their YouTube page, that raw footage is not available. So maybe it's available on their website. You can probably go check out there. I would advise them to put that on their YouTube. So in the second video, what they talked about is, okay, whatever, you talked about the farmers, but what you didn't really answer was what the core of the issue was. And the core of the issue was the assertions made by an environmental activist, Vimlendu Jha, in the video. So I'm going to try and answer those allegations today. So before we get to what Vimlendu Jha particularly said, I want to kind of talk about this whole idea that this 3-day festival has completely, irreparably destroyed the natural vegetation of those floodplains and has completely laid the floodplains barren. It is very easy to point a finger at this one event that didn't really do any tangible damage to the area, which I'm going to get into later in the video. It's very easy to point, your finger at a particular organization or at a particular event rather than actually look at the inconvenient, hard truths of the matter. Environmental bodies and environmental activists have often looked the other way, as uncontrolled pollution, land encroachments, sand mining, untreated sewage discharges, dumped garbage, slum clusters, illegal agricultural activities, and illegal paka colonies that have been constructed and that have been happening in and around that Yamuna River area. These are the things right here that have been choking and strangling this river to death over the past many, many years. Various unauthorized colonies have sprung up around the river and have been choking the river to death over the past few years. Look at the names of these colonies, like Rajiv Nagar, Sonia Vihar, Usmanpur, Abul Fazl Enclave, Shaheen Bagh, etc. Now, these colonies that have come up around here have the patronage of certain political parties, I think it's very easy to guess which, that have allowed these colonies to come up on these floodplains here that have been slowly destroying the floodplain area. What is more likely to be destroying the Yamuna River and the floodplains around it? All of these activities that have been happening for the past many, many years, or one 3-day event that happened in 2016. If you said the 3-day event, then congratulations, you are a true secular. And the other thing also, this National Green Tribunal report that they're talking about, this report is using very ambiguous language, very highly questionable claims, and completely unscientific reasoning to present its case. So now we're going to look at what the environmental activist in the Quint video, Vimlendu Jha, and the allegations and the claims that he's making. There's going to be some weird text on the video when I quote it, because I don't know how to download videos off of websites because I'm horrible at technology, so please bear with me on this one.
It looks like a playground. It wasn't supposed to be a playground. It was supposed to be a wetland, an ecologically sensitive zone, which has been destroyed, plundered by this Baba called Sri Ravishankar. There was a different kind of corruption. I would not say that it was exchange of money, but exchange of favor or unlawful activity or going beyond the law of the land is also a form of corruption. The government really went against the law of the land and gave them permission to plunder 68 hectares of floodplains is really almost leasing out state property, public resource onto a godman in that sense, in good faith.
So let's actually look at the second claim that he's made, that the Art of Living Foundation actually has gone completely against the law of the land. That land belongs to the Delhi Development Authority. It belongs to the DDA. Funny thing is that he himself mentions in the video that there's no money that exchanged hands. Not just that, they also took permission from the Delhi Pollution Control Committee, the UP Irrigation Committee, the Delhi Disaster Management Authority, Irrigation and Flood Control Department of Delhi. So yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, it is the worst kind of corruption, where you follow all the procedures and you take all the permissions that are required and you don't even pay anybody off. That's the worst kind of corruption. I mean, what is India coming to? I mean, think about it. What's going to happen next? People are going to start stopping whenever there's a red light. And as soon as the light turns green, you don't hear 15 horns behind you within the first 2 seconds. Is that the India that you want to live in? That you want your kids to grow up in? I didn't think so. And looking at the first point that he actually talks about how this is supposed to be a wetland, and this whole wetland has just been completely destroyed. So again, if we look at the Ramsar Convention, according to the Ramsar Convention, yes, there is supposed to be no gathering or activity on the wetland. But the area where the festival took place is not a wetland. The ISRO's National Wetland Atlas of 2011 identifies 399 wetlands in Delhi. However, the area in which the festival took place, according to the ISRO's atlas as well, does not contain any wetlands. What the area is a floodplain which was converted into a farmland, and there are no such restrictions of gatherings on a floodplain. Examples of floodplains where gatherings happen is the Kumbh Mela.
You're teaching people how to breathe and cut all my trees in return. That's a bad example.
But Vimlendu Jha, that is a bad example, because it turns out that not only was the vegetation in the area not damaged, not a single tree was cut down.
Just to make sure not a single tree was cut, the number of trees before the event and right after the event were counted using high-res satellite images, and the numbers were exactly the same.
Bad example.
So basically what this report is trying to say is that an event that took place over 3 days, after which it was completely cleaned up, and it took place on an area of around 25 hectares, completely destroyed an area of nearly 10,000 hectares. Line of reasoning doesn't really make sense at all.
Bad example.
And not only did they not destroy the area, they actually removed a truckload of debris that was present on the area as well. The Art of Living Foundation also developed an eco-friendly enzyme formulation which was made from kitchen waste, which helped remove the stench, the unbearable stench that was present in the area near the Yamuna. Because anybody who's from Delhi or who's been to Delhi or who's been near the Yamuna in Delhi knows how smelly that river can be. You picked the wrong foundation to put these allegations on, because the Art of Living Foundation is not really damaging places, but what it is actually doing is restoring rivers and areas around the rivers in many water-part states, particularly where they have actually rejuvenated 22 rivers in Maharashtra alone. And again, like I talked about before, you know, the NGT report and even the expert committee report, they don't really provide any scientific basis to how this damage has happened or any tangible evidence to how the damage has happened, what has been the damage. What they talk about is this invisible loss of biodiversity. Not just that, they also set up an expert committee, like I said, to calculate the monetary value of the damage that was done to the area, and that the damages that the Art of Living Foundation would then need to pay. But as it turns out, the monetary value that they determined turned out to be a pretty arbitrary value. And this was acknowledged by the chairman of the expert committee, Mr. Shashi Shekhar. He wrote a letter to the chair of the NGT where he himself recognized that the random figure of 120 crore demanded as a compensation was an inadvertent mistake. It was not based on any scientific assessment. It did not have any scientific basis and was due to the fact that he was running high fever and could not see the entire report prepared by the experts. We have to recognize a couple of things here too, that all this noise is being made for an event that is celebrating Indian values, Hindu culture and Hindu values. But no such noise is made for the Maramon Convention, which is the largest Christian convention that is held in Asia and that is held in India, in Kerala, on the banks of the Pampa River. And you can see all the construction that is going on and all the digging that is going on around the banks of the river.
Now that sense of power and therefore sense of agency and what he owns, it's very, very important that someone like himself should use it for positive outcome, for real actual work rather than propaganda.
So what's the propaganda here? What's the propaganda that you're talking about? So essentially, what you're saying is bringing people together from different geographies, different languages, different races, different religions, different cultures, and different nationalities to come together and celebrate the oneness of humanity, to celebrate peace, to celebrate yoga, to celebrate meditation, respect for nature, human values, and cultural diversity, and highlighting various indigenous and tribal art forms of across the world. Are you saying that's propaganda?
Bad example.
Because if that is so, that is probably the best kind of propaganda possible on the planet. And I'll tell you why what the Art of Living is trying to do, and I'll tell you why what any movement or any organization that talks about Indian values and Indian culture, why that's painted as propaganda. The reason it's painted as propaganda is because the left absolutely hates what the Art of Living stands for. The success of organizations like the Art of Living is the confirmation of India's cultural significance in the world and the confirmation of the incredible gifts that India's culture has provided the world with. And the fact that so many thousands of people came from across the world to participate in this is again affirmation of the same thing. And because the left is hell-bent on painting India and its culture as backward, as oppressive, savage, and patriarch, when they see that people from across the world are embracing India's cultural contribution to the world, they can't stand it because it defeats their entire agenda that they're trying to push. So I want to hear what you guys think about this video as well. I want to hear what you guys think about the OpIndia video, the Quint video, this whole situation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as well. Alright guys, thanks again for watching today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to leave a like, leave a thumbs up, helps the channel out, helps me out. Please make sure to subscribe to the show's channel down below. You can subscribe to the show's channel right here as well. Again, thanks again for watching. I will see you for the next episode, and until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.
Bad example. Bad example. Bad example.